Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to level up your JavaScript functions by mastering parameters. You will learn how to pass data into functions, how to use default values to make functions smarter, how to use REST parameters for flexible functions. By the end, you will handle any number of arguments like a professional. First, let's have a quick recap. What are parameters? Parameters are variables that a function uses to receive input. For example, function greet, name, console.log, hello name. Then let's call it greet, any name like columns. Here the parameter is name. Parameters let functions be reusable and dynamic. Sometimes you want a function to have a fallback value if no argument is passed. For example, function greet, name equals friend, console.log, hello name. We can call a function without parameter, saying greet, it would show hello friend. And we can pass name like greet Alex, it's showing hello Alex. Default values prevent undefined and make your functions more reliable. But what if you want a function to accept any number of arguments? We can use REST parameter. What are REST parameters? Let's give an example to see. Function sum numbers. To have it as REST parameter, let's add 3 dots before numbers. Now, this is a REST parameter. Let total equals 0 for constant num of numbers, total plus equal num. Return total. We can pass any number of parameters to the sum function. For example, console.log sum 1, 2, 3. We have here 3 parameters and the result is 6. Console.log sum 5, 10, 15, 20. The answer is 50. The 3 dots before numbers gathers all remaining arguments into an array. You can loop over them or manipulate them just like any array. You can mix regular, default, and REST parameters in one function. Like for example, function introduce. Greeting equals hi. That's default parameter. And then and 3 dots names. That's REST parameter. Console.log greeting name.join, comma. Now let's call it introduce hello Codems Alex Sam. It would show hello Codems Alex Sam. Or introduce undefined and Mia. It would be hi Mia. But are there an order which we have to follow when we pass parameter? Yeah. Default parameters first. REST parameters last. You can skip arguments to trigger default with undefined. Why this is useful? Makes your functions flexible and reusable, perfect for dynamic arguments in real-world apps, essential for modern JavaScript techniques like callbacks, APIs, and array operations. That's for parameters, default values, and REST parameters. Practice these patterns, and soon you will write functions that can handle anything you throw at them. Keep coding and have fun. Now it's our project time. Today we will create multi-input greeting and sum calculator. We will create a function that can take multiple inputs, names or numbers, using REST parameters and default values. So users can pass multiple names, get a personalized greeting, pass multiple numbers, calculate the total sum. This helps beginners see REST parameter and default values in action immediately. Let's start with the basic HTML structure. It's basically just an input, 2 enter names separated by commas, and greet button to call the function. And for the sum numbers, we have an input field, to enter numbers separated by commas, and a button to calculate the sum. Then we call the script.js. Now it's JavaScript time. First, let's define the elements. The DOM elements. Constant to greet button equals document.getElement by ID, greet button. Constant greet result, document.getElement by ID, greet result. Constant name input, the same, we call it by ID, name input. Then sum button, sum result, and number input. The same thing, we call each by ID. Now let's create the function to greet multiple people using REST parameters and default values. Function greet people. Greeting equals hello and REST parameter names. If names.length equals 0, which means there are no names entered, names equals friend. It's default if no names passed. Return greeting and names.join, comma. Now let's define the function to sum multiple numbers using REST parameter. This time we will use function expression. Constant numbers equals 3 dots numbers, that's REST parameter numbers, return numbers.reduce total and num, total plus num and 0. Now let's add the event listeners. Greet button.add event listener, click. Constant names, name input.value, which means we get the value from the input, .split, comma. Split is converting text separated by comma to array. .map and .trim .filter and not equal to empty string. Greet result .text content equals greet people, hi, and REST parameter names. Let's do the same for sum button. Sum button.add event listener, click. Constant numbers equal number input.value .split is the same. We get the value from the input and split it to convert it to an array. .map. Don't worry about map for now, we will discuss it later in detail. But for now, map function creates a new array populated with the result of calling a provided function on every element in the calling array. So basically we are changing the array to another array. So here we say .map and number and .trim .filter and is nan. Is nan is not a number of n. Sum result.text content equals sum numbers of numbers. So here we learned REST parameters allows the function to accept any number of arguments. Handy for flexible functions. Default parameter greet equals hello provides a fallback value if no argument is passed. Spread operator 3 dots name used to pass an array as separate arguments to a function. There are some extra challenge ideas if you wish to challenge yourself. Add an optional greeting input so users can choose hi, welcome, greetings, etc. Extend the sum function to multiply or average number instead of just summing. Make a mini leaderboard where users enter scores and see the total and average. And that's it for today. See you next. Thank you.